Welcome to the only YouTube channel who keep you updated on the state of the AI in creating typewriters. In this video we will see how the AI conceive the typewriters of different countries. AI made incredible advancing, and can generate very realistic images. We will see the advancing of the AI of Midjourney version 5 in creating realistic typewriter specific for a nation. Let's start with Spain. This is what the AI thinks it's a Spanish typewriter. Of course, it's on the beach. The typewriter is quite big. I think it's difficult to take it to the beach. But it's much more sexy to use a typewriter on the beach rather than a smartphone. This model is much more portable. It's perfect to be used on a Spanish beach. Also, this lady is using a portable Spanish model created by AI. Here there is a German man using a typical German typewriter. It seems to be in Bavaria. The typewriter is a typical Bavarian typewriter. Also here there is a typical German man with a quite strange typewriter. And of course there is a beer. Here some interesting ideas on Japan typewriters. The most interesting is this. The typing bars are missing, but the AI thinks it can write nevertheless. If you like better, this is the comics version of this picture. Now we have a typical situation of a Canadian woman typing at her typewriter in an office with a white bear looking at her. I think the AI is very smart in understanding what could happen to you in Canada. Now these are Dutch typewriters. There are buttons instead of typing bars, but the surroundings are very Dutch. This is another AI Dutch typewriter. It's a very strange design. No typing bars. I don't know how Dutch people use this typewriter. Also the windmill is quite bizarre. In Antarctica there isn't any man, so the typewriters are used by penguins. But the AI can't resolve the problem of how a penguin can use a typewriter. Also the penguin seems very puzzled on what to do. I think for them it's better to use the beak. This one seems ready to do it. And this is an Italian typewriter. Don't seem it's a Olivetti model. Maybe an MP1? Here there is a series of French typewriters. There is a glass of wine and the Tour Eiffel. This typewriter seems a mix between an old telephone and a typewriter. Here there is a French typewriter and two Tour Eiffel, so it's the maximum French possible. Here now there is a Norwegian typewriter in a typical Norwegian office. Typewriters are quite big. Of course, when it's very cold, Norwegians has also a model of typewriter with a bonfire inside. The AI has a solution for everything. Actually, AI cannot tell the differences between typewriters. If you ask it an Italian typewriter, it gives you this. It's not an Olivetti, of course. And if you ask a German typewriter, it didn't give you an Adler typewriter, but this. And this is the AI idea of a Turkish typewriter. And this is a French typewriter, and a US typewriter, and all these typewriters have nothing to do with the nation is supposed to be the producer. The AI don't know the differences between typewriters. And sometimes, as we have seen, don't even has a clear idea on what is a typewriter. But if you give the AI some information about the context, it can try to give you something to resemble your request. So this trend typewriter is AI's idea of a US typewriter. For sure there is no doubt about the fact it's a US scenario, but the typewriter don't seem to be a Remington. In fact, doesn't even seem a typewriter. And this is a US worker with a US typewriter. This is a Turkish woman using a typewriter. But it seems the AI concentrates on the composition of the Turkish woman and forget the accuracy of the typewriter. Here there should be a Turkish woman, a typewriter and a oka, but the AI created an interesting model of a typewriter with a oka integrated, an Armenian typewriter invented by AI. The AI don't know what is an Armenian typewriter, also because it doesn't exist. But it's quite good in creating an Armenian woman with the traits you could commonly find in Armenia. In the end, there are some interesting models of Scottish typewriters. Here an interesting, very big Scottish typewriter. And a Scottish typewriter made by AI. Here a couple of Scottish with a typical AI Scottish typewriter. A beautiful Scottish portable typewriter. And a series of Scottish men with their beloved typewriters. Quite realistic. The AI is very good in creating Scottish people. I think AI at the moment don't know which is a typical typewriter for every nation, but it try hard in creating something resembling it, playing with the context. I'm sure in future when I will ask AI an US typewriter from the beginning of 19th century, he will create the image of an Hammond typewriter. Thanks for watching.